for coming out to Transcendence today for Second Sunday. We've got a good program today. We were battling nature, and we were really talking about connecting with nature today. So thank you for coming out in the elements. So we are going to hear from Jessica a little bit later on, and we're going to introduce another member of our A team. And so we're just going to get in the mode, and we're going to really connect with higher self. So we want to be thinking about any questions that we have for Jessica here at the end, and we would like to go ahead and start off with a grounding meditation so that we can just really get centered. So, but I do want to talk about, we've really been kind of showing the inside, like what's going on in the inside of the house, like the interactions and everything that whenever we're, how we operate and how we do everything. And so our group, Quantum Life, has really been growing. We've been having a lot of good content on there, and a lot of good contributions from the A team, and it's really been a lot of fun, so I really appreciate you guys. I'm David Michael, D-Mike, and so I would like to invite you guys to join me in a centering meditation right now. So if we'd like to go ahead and just take a deep breath and just really get centered here. And I would just like to invite you into this space. Just go ahead and close down your eyes if you feel it. And just really take in the sound of the singing bowl. Really feel it moving through all your chakras. And I want to invite you to just picture in your mind a big ball of energy, big white and violet ball of radiant light just floating right above your head. And as it sits there, just picture it coming down into your crown chakra, just really opening up, connecting you to the universe. And as it goes down to your third eye, and it just cleanses you and clears your vision, connects you to all other life in the universe. And it goes down to your throat chakra, just really frees up your freedom of expression and voice. It's going to move down to your heart chakra. Just really connect you with all loving and living beings. It moves down to your powerhouse. It's going to move down to your creativity and your sacral. And it moves down to your root chakra, which really grounds you here in Mother Earth. And you thank her, you support her, and you feel her support you and love you back. It's going to move down through your feet, down to the core of the earth, where it's really going to center you in there and ground you. I want you to picture in your mind the earth now sending that energy back up through all your chakras, back out through your crown, moving out to source energy. So you are a conduit. You are the connection that connects the love of the universe with Mother Earth. I want you to just picture yourself floating up above where you are sitting in this seat right now. And you're floating up above the state, up above the country, and float outside of the earth, up through the clouds, up into the stars. And you look back, and you can see Earth, the big blue ball, getting smaller and smaller as you move further out into the cosmos. And as you just keep floating out into the cosmos, you begin to see bright lights out in the distance. As you approach it, you realize that it's a mass cosmic ocean. You get closer and closer, and it gets bigger and bigger and brighter and brighter. And as you approach it, you begin to meld with it. You begin to come this big sea of cosmic stars. And you in this liquid form, melding with the stars and the universe. You hear the sound of creation that rings through all, that ripples out through this ocean of stars, which we are a part of. We hear the sound Om. We're going to chant that 3 times here in this state. If you'd like to chant with me, or if you'd just like to let it wash over you and cleanse you in this moment. When we take a deep breath, back to your body. And come back to yourself. Begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers. And take a deep breath into this space. When you're fully back and present in your body, I invite you to just go ahead and open your eyes back and come back with me. Thank you. All right, so we're going to be talking about just really being connected with nature and just how we're all just one. And I wanted to share just a brief experience that I had when I was just really feeling centered. I just got done chanting and I was just really being a part of nature. And I was out in it. And I was out here in the backyard. And there was just a clear blue sky. There was not a bird, there was no sound, nothing. And I was looking through the clouds and through the trees and saw open sky. And I was just feeling so connected. And I just wanted to see, I was feeling so connected, I wanted to see what I could do, how I could interact with nature. And so I was just thinking, you know what, I would just love to see, 3 birds just fly right across the sky right there. Oh, no, how about 2 birds? 2 birds. Kind of changed my mind like that. And I sat there for 4 seconds, and sure enough, 3 birds just flew. It was a different direction, and there was 3, and they flew right that way. And I was just like, wow. And then right then, 2 birds flew right across the sky. And then 2 more birds flew right across the sky. And then 2 more birds flew right across the sky. And then an entire flock of birds just came and just whooshed right over me. And I was just amazed. I just felt so connected, and I was just one with everything. And then, still in my head, I was like, oh, well, maybe that was just a fluke. And I promise you, I started walking back towards here, Transcendence Estate, and a whole flock of birds that was in this tree started singing, and they got up as a flock and flew into this infinity symbol right above my head, telling me, hey, we're here. We are the sovereign. We are the kings and queens, the goddesses and gods of this earth, of nature. It's all part of us. We're all one. And it's so amazing. We don't have anything to be afraid of. There's nothing to be afraid of. There is no fear. There's only love. There's only this unity. There's only us. There's only one of us here. We are all part of this one benevolent being. So I just really want to invite you guys to really enjoy this, being part of this nature and being part of this oneness and this unity. So all the relationships in the house and with the A-team, it's just really, it's amazing the way that we're able to come together and the growth that we're able to do and the spirituality that we're able to connect with. And I want to ask you guys to help me invite somebody up here who she's amazing. She helped me come up with the title of my book, From Compton to Quantum. So that will be coming out. Yes, thank you. Yes, and it's amazing the things that we can do, and how quickly we can do that. And Annette she's such a great teacher. She keeps us all grounded and she keeps us all in stitches. She's hilarious. So I was wondering if you guys would help me welcome up here my good friend and A-team member, Annette Roper.
That was so sweet. I appreciate it. That's probably the best thing anyone said about me in a long time. That's great. I noticed, I'm going to try to enunciate a little better because I've kind of been listening to some of my feeds and kind of sound like a drunken sailor. And I was a drunken sailor at one time, so I guess it's coming back to haunt me a little bit in my vernacular. So what I'm just going to talk for a few minutes about, part of what Jessica is going to be speaking about today is simplicity. And so I'm going to go to the simplest, simple thing that we can possibly think about, and that's energy. And we were talking the other day, and my quantum subscribe group is going to get this in a little more depth, but I'll just whet your taste for it. Everything is energy. Does anyone disagree with that? I mean, science proves, quantum mechanics, quantum theory proves that there's nothing but energy. And energy vibrates in different frequencies and forms a chair. Or the materials that man takes to form a chair. Or a human body. Or a dog's body. Or the bird Steve Mike was talking about. It's all energy. And the thing in this universe that keeps everything moving is an equal give and take of that energy. We put energy out. We vibrate at a certain energetic level ourselves. Our thoughts vibrate at an energetic level ourselves. And we send that out into the universe, sending all kinds of ripples. And then it comes back to us. And we have to be open to receive that. But sometimes, as you know, as human beings, blockages come in, and we are not so good sometimes at receiving energy back to us, however it may come. Some of us are really good at receiving energy that we don't like. Some of us are really good at being whipping posts. Some of us are not as good at receiving energy that we do enjoy, like love and peace and harmony. So the best thing you can do that I've ever found is learn how to still your mind and meditate. Some people have a difficult time. I know when I first started doing it, I actually had to have someone that was highly trained in hypnotherapy work with me for a couple months before I could even get my body relaxed. Because I was so up here in my body and it didn't want to let go. There was not a cell in my body that wanted to just go and relax. So one thing that I really kind of try to focus on is how to take mechanical things from this 3D world and switch it into an application to help us in 5D. So one of those things that I've found through transcendence actually is one of the things that first brought me to transcendence is this brain tap. When we go into a state of meditation, we go into a theta brainwave. Well, this little puppy here can put you in theta in about 4 minutes. And not only that, it has light therapy that comes in through the ears and through the eyes, over your closed through your eyelids. It stimulates the meridians in your brain and through your body to balance your body health and also help you create new neural pathways. Because it has, they've got like 700 programs. So whatever you want to work on, PTSD, smoking, weight loss. Tons of people I know have lost weight using this. I've gone from 8 packs a day now to, 8 packs a week of cigarettes. The real smoky smoker. To like 3 packs a week. And my desire for it is just basically evaporating. Used to be I'd drive here and smoke 2 cigarettes. Now, if I even think to have a cigarette, it's like, oh, and I only smoked a half a cigarette. Well, that's great. So, this is a mechanical thing that we can use to help us get into that state of meditation. I know a lot of you that are listening remotely on this may have not heard of this little device. And if you contact us at transcendencekc at gmail.com, Susie, if you're local, we can get you hooked up with 3 free visits. If you're not local, we can get you hooked up with 30 days free of just the audio program with earbuds. And that's pretty amazing in itself. I used that for a long time before I really started using this on a daily basis. And it helps. Another thing Jessica wanted me to talk about today was a new transcendence location that we are focusing on and intending. And I'm going to be going out there and building it up, and we're going to move into Hawaii. So, Oahu. So I just want all this wonderful energy online and in the room to hold us up and see that intention clearly, that within the next year and a couple months we can actually start having retreat classes and stuff out there. So enjoy. I know Jessica's got tons of great stuff she's going to let you in on today. And it's good to see y'all here, and thanks for visiting with us online too.
Thank you, Annette. Yes, we use Brain Tap every day. It's had a profound benefit in many areas of my life and all of our lives. So I just wanted to thank one of our Tika students who has sent everybody in the house some of her Etsy and some of the jewelry I have on now. I've got the little Buddha and the little scarab beetle. So Jenny Brochu, thank you very much. She sent everybody some really great stuff, and she's got really good stuff. So I really appreciate that. So
do we know the name of her store so we can plug it?
We'll put it in the comments. We'll put it in the comments.
Yeah.
We'll have it ready. So okay, so we will have from Jessica in just a little bit, but I did want to share with you guys a vision that I've been allowed to glimpse. Many of you that are in our Quantum Life subscription group have heard some of my posts and know that I'm a Nichiren Buddhist. I chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, and I've been chanting for just expanded amounts of compassion, and just the things that I've been trying to learn and to integrate it's the way that it's coming in is this, we're going to need another word for it. It's just a new way for us to interact and see each other. Is this expanded awareness and levels of compassion. And I say I've been allowed to glimpse it because just in some of my meditations, in some of my chanting, and in some of my dreams, I've been taken to this world where we have, as a collective, attained this level of expanded compassion. And I just wanted to talk about how beautiful it looks. I mean, there's no fear in this world when we have this expanded levels of awareness and compassion. The way that we interact with each other, the way that we treat strangers. I mean, I've seen a vision where a lady would come out of her house holding her baby, and she sees some exciting events down the road, and she sees a stranger coming at her, and she wants to run over there. So she hands her baby to the stranger and runs down to this event because she knows it's a human. That's us. There's only one of us here. This stranger is going to look after my baby, of course. There's nothing to fear. When we want to travel somewhere, we don't have to say, oh, well, how am I going to feed myself and all that. All we have to do is say, are there people there? There's humans there. Okay, awesome. Let's go. We will be fed. We will be taken care of. I mean, it's a beautiful way of living. It's a beautiful light. It's just a completely new awareness. The way that we deal with each other, the way we interact with each other, the way we love each other. This world is, what I've been getting at is, it's not far away. It's a whole other level of freedom, a whole other way of life. Now, many times whenever I talk about this, people will say, well, that's great. I would love to live that way. I would love to have these levels of compassion for each other, but I'm only one person, so I can't do anything. I can change the way I think, but then I would need everybody else to follow suit. And I just want to share with you guys the great news that it's just a thought away. That's all it is. It takes one thought from you, because the way that we are all connected and the energy that is here, there's no more waiting. It's here right now. Many of us are wondering when the new earth is coming. When is this heaven on earth coming? And the heaven on earth is here already. It's like, when are you going to show up? When are you going to make that decision? When are you going to join me in this awesome utopia that is already here on this planet? It's amazing. Whenever we have these thoughts, thoughts are things. Thoughts is energy and vibration. When we have these thoughts, they ripple out, and the 100,000 people in every direction realize that you have this thought. They interpret it. It's like you're putting a vote out there. You're saying, hey, I vote for compassion. I vote for love. I choose the connectedness instead of the separation. And we can all have this life right now. I invite you to, even here, find the person that you resonate least with, and go talk to them. Whoever triggers you, go talk to them and smile at them. I mean, in Compton, many of you have heard the story. I would walk around and I would see people that I would think would be sketchy, or that might be stereotypical from Compton, and I just noticed that the energy shift was a smile away. I would see them walking at me, and I would say, I'm gonna smile at this person. And you just notice that right behind that grimace is a smile. It wants to come out, but we give them permission. I smile, ask them how they are, and they come out of it immediately and just radiate this amazing energy and this connectedness that we all feel. We all know that it's right there, and it's right there for the taking. We just have to take it. That's all. And it's one thought. We don't have to wait for everybody. You just do it, and then everybody else follows suit, and it's just amazing. So I just really want to invite you all to just come with me, because I'm going. I'm going to this utopia. So I just really want to invite you all to come with me. So we're all nature. We're all connected, and it's all so simple. And so I'd like to invite my teacher and my friend, my sister, up here. She's helped so many of us in our life. She's been an inspiration. She was the person that whenever I was sitting in Compton thinking, well, I'll never be able to do this, what she's doing, but I'm going to try to put these 7 steps of manifestation, I don't have anything else to do, so I might as well try it. Okay? So I was looking at Second Sunday, and I put the 7 steps into play, and now, in a few months, now here I am.
Now we live together.
Now we live together. How did you do that, It shows up even better than I had even intended to in the first place. So, if you would all please help me welcome up here Jessica Alstrom.
Thank you guys for coming. I know that we had a little time change, so we were kind of hoping that at least 2 people would show up. I want to get started by first just asking you a question. How are you really doing right now? How are you really doing with these big changes before I get started? I just want that question to drop into you, because by the time you leave, you will have the answer, okay? So a few years ago, when Susie and I got tired of what was available for the world out there as far as spiritual development, we decided that we were going to open a wellness center. And it was going to be a wellness center that we didn't hide behind traditional, third-dimensional massage therapy. We were going to just put it all out there. We were going to put every sort of modality of spirituality that we could get our hands on for anyone that had any resonance. We wanted the Buddhists, we wanted the energy healers, we wanted the crystal healers, the theta healers, the DNA healers. We wanted everyone under one roof. And that was our intention. And so I sat one day in meditation and I said, God, what is the name of this place? And God told me, transcendence. And so I called Susie and she goes, huh? How do you spell that? And I go, I don't know. I don't even know what it means. And I said, but this is the name. And she goes, but that's going to be so hard for people to Google search. And then I said, but that's the name. And then as I was sitting there pondering, I got a message and it said, awaken, integrate, transcend. And I knew at that point I was pretty deep into my own personal awakening where I was remembering certain aspects of myself through an expanded idea, which means I didn't feel so separate from God. I felt that the world was supposed to unify. I felt my job was to be a messenger to that unity. I felt that I couldn't keep that voice inside anymore. And so because I had no friends or I didn't know anyone else like me, that we were going to open this wellness center and it was going to be like a beacon. It was going to be like a call to others. And anyone who heard the call could show up. And that was our mission in 2014. And we went through hell doing that, because every time you say yes, you've got to walk through all the doors that have said no to you, which is exactly why we haven't moved through that threshold. We haven't moved through that courageous point. So Susie and I have been on this courageous journey for the last couple of years to always say yes to our purpose, to always say yes to that inner call, that little voice that is never going to go away, no matter what came out at us, no matter who attacked us, no matter what people called us crazy. We said, we're just going to keep going. And when we first opened, we had a lot of people who were interested in being part of our community. And if anybody's ever tried to work with a tight community, you know that the birth of ego really expands itself, and it's very difficult in the beginning to understand how to play nice with others. And so we experienced all of that. And then we looked at each other one day at lunch and we said, it's you and me again. And that was in 2015. And so we looked at our own frequency and we looked at our own vibrations, and we realized that we have come from a past where we've both been very hurt, very heartbroken, very, we've both come from families that have kind of black sheeped us or made us feel that we weren't allowed to be authentic. That's the best way that I can put it. And we realized that that was still running in our energetic programs, and that was what was keeping our people away, which was keeping our soul families away. And in that period of time, I was going through kind of a battle with my family-in-law, and they were not very excited about what I was doing. They could only refer to me as witchcraft. And that they didn't feel that that was a great place for their grandson to be. And so we kind of went through that, and I went into kind of a dark night where I started to judge myself and started to think, is there something wrong with me? Am I not a good mom? Because I have these thoughts and these viewpoints, and the way that I choose to parent is more by example than necessarily the iron law of manipulation and control. And that was the day where I said, again, I'm going to say yes to myself and yes to my purpose, and I decided to do Second Sunday, and now here we are. A year, 2 years later, I don't even know how long we've been doing this. And each month, my intention is always just to bring the message of the collective for the month, which means that moment by moment by moment by moment, this universe, this world, this idea, these thoughts are changing so rapidly that each month it just is a whole new world. And this year in particular represents the halfway mark of our ascension process. So Awaken actually started in the 1930s. People began to remember that they were here to do God's work. These people had a different feeling about mankind. They didn't understand cruelty. They lived in the idea of the arts and beauty and seeing good in other people. And this was a very difficult time for this first strand of star seeds that came to this planet to basically act as the second coming. Because this planet was filled with the other idea, which was power, control, and segregation. And now these people who came to the planet who were saying, you know, this just doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. Had to stand alone in the dark. And each generation that came after that stood less in the dark because of the generation that was before them. So I also want to honor those first rounds that have come. If you were born in the 1930s, late 30s, early 40s, you are the first pioneers of this mission to ascend planet Earth back into light, which is pretty awesome. And we actually have some of those people in TICA, which is Transcendence International Consciousness Academy, and to listen to what they've lived through, what they've seen, the wars that they've watched happen on this planet. It's nothing short than a bestseller book. So in that, here we are now, 2017. We are moving into the integration period. What does integration mean? It means to start understanding all of you. Start understanding all of you. You are yin and you are yang. You are dark and you are light. And we have tried to avoid the dark within us for so long that we have caused such a resistance in that we don't even know who we are. And so as we're beginning to integrate in this time and space, we are having to have compassion for ourselves, for our behaviors, the parts of ourselves that we deny and reject and disassociate from and suppress. Because if you've noticed, this particular year, all that's coming up for you, isn't it? Everything that you've resisted or rejected or denied is showing itself to you because you have said, if I get distracted, dear universe, which I am, please show me what I need to see so that I can expand. So everything that you've been attracting over the last few years has been perfectly placed by you in your timeline so that you can see exactly what you are resisting from yourself. That's it. And as you start to look at those ideas and look at that understanding, because that's the word, that when D. Mike was saying compassion, the word understanding came to my mind right next to that. Because if you understood that you're supposed to be dark and light, you are supposed to be dark and light until you completely integrate. Which means that the aspects of darkness within you is the very thing that activates someone else's light. Okay? We could call childbirth extremely painful process, and what do we get as a result? So it's all the beauty is hidden in the absence of love. Because what does the absence of love do for us? It creates a desire. I want love. I want to feel love. I want to embody love. All along, you are love, but it's the remembering and the understanding that first and foremost, connecting to the parts of yourself that you have been pushing away. And incorporating that back into the parts of yourself that you love and being that holistic being. That mind, body, and soul. Because your mind is the one that is opposed to your integration process. Anybody here been on a detox program? Ever?
Yeah.
Have you ever detoxed from anything? I can guarantee you everyone in this room has physically had to detox from something. What does that feel like? When you finally set that intention that I'm done with this, and maybe it's a person. Have you ever had to detox a person? That's a painful situation right there. Okay? Detoxing anything takes what? First and foremost, choice. The one thing, the God-chosen thing that you have here, the God gift that you have to work with on this planet is choice. And when you choose to be done with a pattern of any kind, whether it's a food, a drug, a person, a job, the way someone treats you, you physically go through a detox, don't you? And what could we call a detox? suffering? Has anybody had to suffer during the detox or felt they were suffering? What's on the other side of suffering? What's on? You. You are on the other side of that pain. You were the one who was keeping yourself away from you by utilizing whatever you were using to stimulate you not knowing you, if that makes sense. So why do we use another person? So we don't have to work on ourselves. Why do we use a drug? So I don't have to look at my pain. Why do I drink? Because I can't bear my broken heart. And if I were to be sober, then I would have to feel all of those feelings inside of myself, and that's too big to bear. So when you set the intention, you're saying, I'm ready to be me. And then you go through the human steps of detoxification, and you come out purified. So right now, 2017, this first part of the year is the ego detoxification. You are detoxing your own ego, and it's not easy. The energy has been almost psychotic the last few weeks. Has anybody felt that? Like this push-pull, your behavior, you're even judging your own behavior, you're judging your own thoughts. You're acting in old ways that you used to act when you were unawakened and uninvolved. You're having conflicts show up that you haven't had to deal with in years. And as you're going through a detox, what happens to your physical body when you're detoxing? It goes through a period of time where it wants nothing other than what it had before. It wants the drug, it wants the person, it wants the place, it wants the thing. And that is what your ego is asking for right now, is your ego is saying, please don't change. Please don't let go of me. Please don't abandon me. And it's physically having a detoxification experience. This is what the psychotic energy is all about right now on the planet, is the detoxification. And I have been going through this myself, and this push and pull. We've got the lunar eclipse, we've got the solar eclipse. That is the pulling apart of you. It is that energetic frenzy. And now we have the full moon, which means your electromagnetic energy is at its peak stimulus today, with the representation of the time change, which means it's time to move ahead. All today, people. This is what's happening today. So as we move through this ego detoxification period that will last until June, July, depending on whether or not you let go. Now, this is what I want to talk about for Second Sunday, because I want to give you the cheat codes and the quick way out of this. Obviously, we know we've been talking about for weeks, surrender, surrender, surrender. But it's almost impossible, if you've ever gone through a detox program, to just completely surrender the pain that you're feeling, the memories that are coming back, the intense desire to be with that person, or to drink that, or to eat that, or to be that. So you're fighting against your own current, and so I want to give you 2 ways that you can fast track this into June and July. One is to simplify. You see how I didn't say surrender? It's too big of a reach right now in March. So how can we simplify our journey this month? We talked last month about how the body is literally in kindergarten spiritually. It still wants the physical needs. It still wants all of the superficial things. And your soul is thriving with a PhD that wants unity and unconditional love. And so there's almost this absence of communication going on between body and spirit, because the body is still wanting to run really simple materialistic programs to stimulate itself, instant gratifications, and the soul is saying, we don't even need this anymore. And so the integration is basically having that body grow up very quickly, and the soul holds space for the body to do that. That is what integration is. And so the best way that we can simplify that is to find the frequency of what the body needs to mimic in order to integrate very quickly. Has anybody ever here taken their car to a car wash before? Okay, one of those automatic ones where you actually have to drive and hook your tires in and then it pulls your car. Well, nature is asking you to do just that for your body right now. Basically, nature is the frequency of God. As soon as you walk outside and you take a breath, that is God. This completely purified, unconditional energy of creation. When you walk inside and you have your stimulus TV and your Wi-Fi and kids running around and a house full of old memories and stories, you are completely tapped into the matrix. So when you walk outside, you're with God. When you turn on that music of the sounds of God or the sounds of nature, you remember. You calm down, don't you? You lighten up. You feel better. And why do you feel better? Because you feel like you. It's not so much stimulus. So what do we do, nutritionists, when we are detoxing a client? We create comfort, we create stability, and we create an environment for them to heal in. And that's what you do when you detox, right? Is you have to self-care and nurture. Nature, nurture. This is going to be the way that you're going to actually be able to detox this ego extremely quickly and integrate very fast, is to allow your body to be that car that you drive up to in that car wash and allow nature to be your docking element and carry you into the fifth dimension, body-wise. Because nature has already recalibrated. The planet is different. The planet is more evolved. The planet is moving back to the frequency of gamma, which is the Christ consciousness energy. It is unity flow. And if you look outside, the trees are in complete harmony with everything around it. So they're constantly begging us and showing us how it's done. And if you notice that nature can seem violent, can't it? The storms and, animals eating each other, but it's all completely in alignment with divine expansion and growth. So when we judge the things that we're doing inside as bad, then we are in separation and we are stopping the integration process from unfolding. So the word of the day is to distract this pain that you're feeling emotionally and move into nature and start studying nature. Start studying nature. If you know how to remote view, this is where I would activate you guys to go out and start remote viewing. Sit with a tree and become the tree. Sit with the grass and be the grass. Sit with the water and flow with the water. Be the water. Be the wind, be the bird, be the frog, be the fish. Because when you come back to yourself, you won't feel so serious. It won't feel so permanent. It won't feel so solid. Because what you've done is you've become one with other aspects of yourself so that you may remember that you are all one. Because what is the fish trying to do? The fish is trying to have the experience that a fish would choose. For whatever time limit that fish chooses that time limit for. The tree, same experience. We are the only species that fights against the current. We are the only one that judges our feelings and our thoughts and our ideas. And therefore, we actually, as soon as we have any sort of judgment, we collect and we move back into the agreement of the matrix itself, which is that you are separate, that you are alone, and that you are not God and you are not connected to God. That is the frequency of the matrix. I'm alone and this is hard and I'm scared. And as soon as you walk outside, I'm never alone. This isn't hard. Look at how the grass just got cut and yet it grows again. I'm not scared because look at all this shelter. Look at all of this that I have to work with at my disposal. Look at the art, look at the beauty, look at the sounds. And what that will do is it will help your body, because your body is nature, isn't it? It's a biological nature, organic material, the same as nature. And so when you put your body into nature and you unplug from that matrix, you begin to integrate, which means you move from kindergarten to first grade to second grade to third grade, all the way up to that PhD in a few months' time versus having to sit inside and think your way there, which will never happen, ever. Because this isn't a thinking game, this is a feeling game. And the more that you can feel connected to nature right now, the faster you'll go and the faster you'll speed up the detox. When you're detoxing, you drink water, don't you? You're ingesting nature. When you're detoxing, you eat organic, clean, purified foods straight from nature. When you're getting away from that person who's toxic, you're getting back to your own nature. When you quit that job, you're moving away from that and moving into your nature of purpose, which is freedom. So nature is going to possibly be the greatest salvation that we will have right now because the energy is so chaotic. And there is always peace found in nature, no matter where you are or where you go. Even in the craziest storms. Even in those hurricanes, there's peace, isn't there? Because you know that that storm is going to be over at some point. And there's going to be a rebirthing process. And by whatever damage is left behind from that storm, people are going to come together and they're going to rebuild that town. And that's going to activate the very heart chakra, the reason why the tornado came, because the hearts weren't open there. Because everything that happens on the planet is so damn synchronistic, which means that where things are actually occurring to destroy certain parts of the planet is exactly where that energy was at the lowest vibration and needed to come back up. So nature is completely in line with our own integration. The second thing that you can do is you can do God's work. You can be of service. You can get out there and you can help someone else get out of a toxic relationship. You can help someone else get off of drugs. You can help someone else detox. You can be their accountability buddy during their own ego detoxification, which means if you've ever sat with someone while they were detoxing it, it's a very big job. Has anyone ever done that? Held space for someone while they were detoxing? It's not pretty, is it? You learn a lot about how strong and how courageous you are by holding space for someone to do that. Now, if they're not ready to do that, then we can't force them into that. We know that we don't want our loved ones to deal with addictions, but we also know that everything is choice, always. And when they are ready to awaken, then they will also move into their integration period. But your job is to find the ones that are ready to integrate and do that work, which means starseeds. Think about it. Farmers, what happens when they say, I want to grow crops? First, they have to get that land ready, don't they? They have to get that land ready, which means that the ground needs to be fertile. And usually, what is it that makes ground fertile? Fertilizer? She said it. And so now this perfect tiny seed is planted all the way down deep into the fertilizer. Does this sound like your childhood? Right? And now your job is to grow and find the light. And as you percolate and you grow, because the conditions are perfect for you to grow, and nature is there to support you with water and sunlight, you grow, and what do you do now once you've blossomed? You want to move that seed around, don't you? You want to now say, I have become the flower, and now I'm going to create other flowers by having the wind carry me, or the insects carry me. And now I'm going to go plant other seeds. And this is literally, scientifically and spiritually, your job as a starseed. Stuffed all the way down into dirt, struggled to find the light, remembered who you were as you blossomed, and then replanted your seeds as far and wide as you can with your thoughts, your feelings, and your example. Nobody cares what you have to say anymore. They care what you do. Because yes, you look good and you speak well and you have a lot of good spiritual knowledge, but what is your example? Because the second way to integrate extremely quickly right now is to be of service. If you really know your purpose right now, you will not be caught up in this extreme psychosis that the universe is going through as a process to evolve. Because purpose holds your focus, doesn't it? When you know why you're on this planet, and you know what you came here for, then you know that part of getting there might be uncomfortable. You know that part of your mission is going to be a slightly version of suffering so that you can even understand the human condition. You understand that it's going to have its highs and its lows, its black and its whites, its wrongs and its rights. But you're going to know that you're going to hold on to that purpose, and so you're going to sail out of that very quickly. It is the ones right now that do not or have not connected with their purpose that are drowning. And so part of active service right now could be helping someone move into purpose. Helping someone remember purpose. And if they say, I don't know, that's actually not true. Because that is the one thing that they know more than anything. The truth of it is I'm not allowed to be myself. And so you can hold their hand and allow them to detox that belief system and just keep reminding them that they are perfect. That they are here to be of service and to love themselves and to change the world. And even if they say, no, I'm not, no, I'm not, no, I'm not, and their body wants to fight against you, you just keep saying yes. You can act as someone else's higher self until they remember their higher self, which is exactly why we opened our academy. Our academy is the great mirror. We hold the reflection of your higher self until you are walking one-to-one, hand in hand with your higher self. And then I ask you to go do that for 5 other people immediately. That is our whole intention of transcendence. So those 2 things, connecting back to organic, simple, uncluttered, unegoic, nurturing nature. Bathe in it, drown in it. Fill your body with it. You know, if you can't be outside and you're stuck in a cubicle, put every square inch of that cubicle a picture of nature. Rainforests and flowers, because even the sight of nature will stimulate your cellular memory back to the frequency codes of 5th dimension. Have the sounds of waves crashing in the background of that cubicle, or the wind blowing, or the rain. Get outside. Take your 15-minute breaks. Breathe fresh air into your body. Drink clean water. Eat foods that are unprocessed by man. Anything processed by man plugs you into the matrix immediately. Neurotoxins and any preservatives plugs you back into the matrix. Organic foods take you out. They lighten you up so that you can hear your own frequency again. It takes about 3 days to eat clean for you to start feeling better. And what happens during those 3 days? You detox. You actually purge that old food and those drugs out of your body, and your body might go through headaches. You know what your body's doing? Your body's going through storms. Your body's pushing things out that it doesn't need, but it's going to also fight against it because it believes it needs it. Your body actually believes that it needs the alcohol for you to be a good person, or believes that it needs that relationship to be loved. And so you have to be extra nurturing with yourself when you have to honor that your body really does believe that it needs that addiction. And you have to sit with that intention and remember that intention and honor that intention and find someone who can hold space for you. And if you can't find someone, nature would love to do that job for you. Nature will always hold space for you. And then when you can move into an act of service, that's when your life will start to extremely accelerate, and you will not have to go through this long, drawn-out detoxification of the ego because you are on purpose. I don't care if it's standing on the street corner hugging people or going to Compton and smiling at people, which is brave, by the way. Whatever it is that you can do, start a nonprofit, write your book, tell your stories. I get emails every single day from my podcast that I did 2 years ago that said, today I didn't kill myself because of something you said. Or, you have accelerated my journey because you're putting all of this information together so I can understand it. And if I died tomorrow, I would die completely fulfilled with those simple emails that I get from people, knowing that I had an intention and that was the only thing I ever wanted to do, was remind someone else of how magical and perfect they were. So as the storms keep coming, look at it as a detox and know that all you have to do to get really docked and to move forward is to find yourself in nature or being of service. Nature, nurture. That is it. See, when you're in nature, nature's nurturing you, and when you become nature, you become the nurturer. Does that make sense? All right. So do we have some questions? I'm just that good. Anybody have anything they would like to add? Anything online? Susie? No. Okay. All right. Does anybody here have anything? Any questions about what's going on energetically? What's going on matrix-wise? Frank? Oh, come on.
No, I would like, he might share his chanting episode and attracting his audience.
Oh, the geese audience.
Oh, the geese audience. Okay, I do want to say one thing. For those people who are very plugged into the matrix, and maybe this is in the representation of your family or friends or anyone that you may know that's really struggling right now, that you know that if they could just find their way out of the matrix to get to know themselves a little bit, then what you can do is you can do kind of backdoor nature, okay? And what backdoor nature is frequency, it's sound, it's color, it's art, and it's music. And get in touch with them. What kind of music makes them feel better? What was their purpose when they were a child? What did they want to be when they grew up? Get them dream building with you. Get them talking to you. Get them on one of these brain taps. Because what Annette was saying about theta, let me explain that in a 4th grade way really quickly. The frequency of nature is gamma and it is theta, which is a frequency. Your brain contains both of those frequencies. Gamma is the frequency of unconditional love, and theta is the frequency of your higher self. The higher self is the version of you that doesn't feel scared, that doesn't feel limited, that doesn't feel that it can be stopped. The unconditional loving parts of yourself. When your brain is in theta, that is who you are being to the rest of your cells. That is who you are. And when you're in gamma, you are in gratitude, you are in unconditional love, you are in ecstasy and passion. And that can be felt through creativity, imagination, visualization, and surrender. So if you have someone that can't get there, then all we actually have to do is get their brain, their human biological computer, to feel theta. And all of those things that I just mentioned, color and sound and light and music and a hug and a kind word. Find the person that triggers you the most in your life right now and go have compassion for them. Go find something about them that you have done yourself. Find compassion for yourself, because you will find your reflection in them. And that will help flip the switch, because children don't learn by what you say, they learn by what you do. They are always following in your example. And if you are in the integration point, then the people who are just waking up are the children. So the children are watching your behavior, spiritual guides, teachers, messengers, and saying, okay, I'm waking up, now what do I do? And they're looking to us to be the example. That's why I said it doesn't matter anymore what we say. We cannot stand up here and be philosophers. We have to stand up here and say, you know what, I'm perfectly imperfect, and I'm working through my stuff, and this is how I'm doing it, and if it resonates with you, then let's do it together. And if not, this person over here is doing it slightly different, and you can do it with them, and you can do, we can go together. And so this brain tap is helping thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people reach a place in their brain that they've never been able to experience because of PTSD, abuse, or trauma. And that is what creates addiction. Addiction is lack of connection to the nurturing element of the universe. So no one's bad when they're addicted. They've just forgot who they are. And they're coping with the instant gratification of what God could feel like. That's it. So, is there a question?
Stephanie would like to know, she's curious what your favorite thing to remote view in nature is.
My favorite thing to remote view nature is collective consciousness. And I do it every time I do Second Sunday. And so what I do is I go to a place where I tap into what the group agreement is. And what group agreement is collective consciousness, which is like the tipping scale of what most people are thinking and feeling. And then I observe that. And then I see, wow, the world has moved from intense fear to confusion. And from confusion, they're moving into hope. And hope, they're moving into change. And change, they're moving into mastery. And I will tell you right now, it's confusion. And when I look at confusion, my job as a messenger is to help them, collective energy, understand. And so that is my favorite thing to remote view, and I do it with absolutely no judgment. It's just an observation. Because if I become the water and I judge the water, then I can't become the water. Because now I'm separate from water, because all judgment is separation. If I'm going to become the water, I've got to do everything that water does. Even if it drowns someone, doesn't it? I have to completely be water, with all of its power and all of its softness and all of its purity and all of its pain. So when you become something, you stop becoming your stories. You remove yourself from your own storyline long enough for you to get peace. Peace is found in nature. I remember when I first woke up in 2008, I followed this guy on YouTube, and he was just a wanderer. And he said, I've been looking for the secret of life for years and years and years, and I can't find it, and I've read every book, and I've taken every workshop, and I've done every practice, and I've gone to India, and I've studied with these gurus, and I've studied with all these people. And he said, I decided that I was done with it, and that I was going to go up to the mountains, and I was going to jump off a cliff. And I was just going to end it. Anyone know if it felt like that? And he decided that he was going to go up on this cliff, but he was too tired to kill himself by the time he climbed up the mountain. So he decided that he was just going to lay on this rock in the sun and take a nap. And as he laid down on this rock, there was a little the most beautiful frog that he's ever seen in his entire life, hopped down onto the rock next to him and took a nap with him. He woke up like 3 or 4 hours later, and the frog was still there. And he sat up and he goes, I get it. I'm just supposed to be here. And in that moment, he realized that his job was just to be whatever. However, the frog was just chilling, and he decided, well, I'm just going to do that. And now he's teaching people how to just go be. So you can see that it's not at all anything other than totally simplistic. We need to simplify everything. And it's a perfect symbolic time because it's springtime. Everything is blooming. Allow yourself to bloom. All of these seeds that you've planted within yourselves for all of these years and all of your studies and all of your work, allow yourself to reap the benefits of all of your hard work by actually having joy in doing the things you've learned how to do. Incorporating all of your gifts into a pile and go play. Everything you've learned is for a purpose, and it will be part of your divine purpose. You will see. Everything you've ever learned, every skill set you've ever acquired is for a reason, even if it makes no sense. It's like put it like a big pile of leaves and go jump in it and discover yourself. Allow yourself to bloom this spring, and in that process, spring clean yourself. Spring clean your life. Stop trying to make relationships that don't fit. Stop trying to be something you're not. Stop trying to understand your own ego. You want to understand an ego, go stand in the middle of a hurricane and come back and tell me what you find. You'll be beat up, bruised, and you will have no recollection of what happened. So instead, love it. Love the aspects of darkness that you brought in specifically to help awaken others, because your darkness is the light that surrounds someone else to be a star. Your darkness is part of this awakening process. The secrets that you beat yourself up for are actually part of your gift. Okay? All right, any other questions? All right, so we're going to do D-Mike's story. Thank you guys so much for coming. I really appreciate this opportunity to do this live and to have you all here. And we will keep doing it as long as people keep asking for it, and we will expand as we can. Thank you, Annette, for your awesome wisdom. I'll just share one quick story. When I first met Annette, she came in my center a couple years ago, and I'm like, well, there you are. There wasn't even like, hey, good to meet you. She's like, we're supposed to work together, and I'm like, and we will. And it was like, here we are. And that's how it is you're walking into all of your old timelines, but not so that you have to regenerate anything, but to pick up where you left off and just clear what needs to be cleared, love what needs to be loved, let go of what it's time to let go of, and move always in the direction of you and your highest joy, your highest excitement, and your highest form that you can create love with. All right, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jessica. And every time she talks, I learn something new, and I live with her, so it's amazing. She's had a profound effect in my life, so I really appreciate her. Addressing Frank, my story, I have a freedom theme, so it's synchronistic that I have lots of interactions, experiences with birds, because the freedom thing. So so before I got my Gohanzen, I'm Nichiren Buddhist, so I chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo to a Gohanzen, which is a portal into yourself or into the universe, which is the same thing. And before I was able to get my Gohanzen from Compton to here, and sometimes when it's not freezing cold out here, I'll go out in nature and I'll chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo. And what Frank's referring to is I shared in class the other day is whenever I would chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, the geese respond to it. It's nature. I mean, Nam-myoho Renge-kyo is it's creation, it's life, it's prana. So and we know that it's frequency, sound, vibration is everything, and the law of attraction, we attract similar things. So whenever I'm out there chanting in nature, sending out myself into the universe, the geese respond to it, and they will come from all the way down here on the side of the lake, and they will come and form a semicircle around me and listen to me chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo. They will drive by. They will do these little dive-bys where they make these crazy patterns in the water as I chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo. It's part of nature. It's them responding to nature, to us, to the oneness of everything, and it's amazing. I can't make this stuff up. I'm not that good of a writer. This stuff really happens. And so, as we go today, I really want to hold Jessica's message in our hearts and really act on this. Not just have the knowledge, but actually put it into practice and put it into play. So Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, it translates to I dedicate myself to the mystical or wonderful law of the simultaneity of cause and effect through voice or sound. The simultaneity. So that means as soon as we make that intention, as soon as we say whatever we're doing, as soon as we say who we are and who we are going to become, it's already done. So it is just our job to then go out and just be a match to it. To be a match to this heaven on earth that is already here for us. So I'd like to invite you all, before we go, to set that intention with me. And so, if you know the chant, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, if you'd like to chant it with me, or if you just like to let it wash over you and heal you and unify you with everything in the universe and solidify your intention with you, that would be great too. So if you'd like to chant with me, go ahead. And we keep our eyes open, and we'll take a deep breath and we'll chant. We call it Daimoku Sanjo. So we'll chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo 3 times. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho and when the shadows get too dark and you can no longer see the lights through the cracks, all you have to do is just reach out, and we here at Transcendence will be here to offer our hand and our heart to help guide you back to the light. Love, light, peace profound. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste.
I think it has something.
If you guys